And is this volume okay? Is this like quality decent enough?
Actually, this is really good. Yeah, what do you got? Using the laptop or you got a microphone?
I got the Mac. I'm on the Mac, the desktop.
That's the desktop?
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
not bad, right?
That's really good. That's actually really good, yeah.
Yo, thanks so much for waiting for me. Sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good. It's We're working with patients. Things take forever. I know. I totally get it. So, how was the day? What was going on with this last case? We can't get
It was
the
it
patient.
was a really in-depth consult. Basically, young kid, a lot of dental work been done, just a lot of moving parts and a lot of different treatment options that we could have gave him. So I like to be super thorough when I do my new patient consults. I like to be so thorough. I think I heard Dr. Christian Coachman say this at the AAED this year, and I
Hmm.
couldn't agree more. I think we need more diagnosticians. We need more people who focus on treatment planning. We
Hmm.
need more people who work collaboratively with specialists to
Yeah,
give people the best treatment.
I agree with that
So
so much.
this case, I mean, 22 years old, had all the top teeth done at 16,
Hmm.
and 7 root canals, missing teeth, a lot going on. Misalignment, so definitely needs orthodontics and
Hmm.
wisdom teeth. So there's a lot of different ways that we can phase it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what was
Oh,
taking so long.
how would you phase that? So he's got several root canal teeth on the top, and then he's got wisdom teeth. He has malalignment. So, yeah, what? How would you
So
phase
this
that?
this was my recommendation. Is like phase one is so after I do my risk assessment, I
Hmm.
basically gather data on the four main areas of the oral health. So gum and bone, tooth structure, bite and jaw joint, smile characteristics. So I take photos with this thing here.
Wow, that looks like something from Star Wars.
So I mean, photography is a very important part of what I do.
Oh yeah,
So it's really important to take good photos and consistent photos for every single case. And so this is a part of the consult. And so then I bring them into my office where I'm sitting right now, and there's a frame TV on the wall. So
mm.
I put the risk assessment, it's called. So I use Oryx, which is like a badass practice software.
Yeah,
Amazing. It's cloud based, and basically it uses AI. So after we gather all the data, it uses AI, and it basically gives us what's called a risk assessment. And with the risk assessment, I go through gum and bone. Where are you likely to experience problems in the future regarding these four areas:
hmm.
gum and bone, tooth structure, bite and jaw joint, and then smile characteristics. And then I go through and I do my diagnostic opinions for each category and kind of like assign a risk to each one.
Hmm.
And then we discuss what, now that we've gathered all the data and we've showed you basically all of your problems, what
Yeah.
what are the solutions? What kind of solutions can we give you, and what might be all of your options, not just the one that's best, but like, as like you have to consider finances for a lot of people.
Yes, yes, we do.
So
That's pretty thorough. That's great.
for this one, I really, really strongly encourage him to do orthodontics. So for him, like wisdom teeth, active disease removal first. So
Yeah.
basically, he just had all these root canals done. I think three on the upper and then two on the lower. So like 5 teeth. He just had root canals done. Oh no, plus his front 2 teeth. But he already has existing crowns across 2 through 13. He
Did
had
he go to like Mexico or Turkey or do one of
no,
those?
no,
Okay, okay,
no.
okay.
This is treatment he had done when he was 16 years old. Yeah, so after he had his braces taken off, he had stains on his teeth, I guess, right? And then, unfortunately, the dentist that his parents took him to dr- placed crowns, drilled his teeth into crowns, which is like, I
For
see it.
stains,
Yeah, that's what he said. I mean,
presumably. Yeah, we don't know, but
we don't know what it looked like, but
cervical caries.
sorry.
Cervical caries?
No, thankfully,
No.
no.
Okay. Okay.
Thankfully,
Okay.
no. So basically, just a lot of compromised tooth structure, just a lot of broken down teeth in the back with root canals now that he just had done at an endodontist. So my recommendation was disease removal first, active disease removal first. So wisdom teeth, and then let's get those back teeth cleaned up.
Yeah.
Let's remove the temporary fillings that's in them, and let's make sure there's no cracks and there's no decay, no unsupported tooth, and then
Yeah.
build the teeth up from the inside, and then prepare everything for restorations. And then for him, my plan was to fabricate ceramic crowns. I have CEREC in my office, so
Mm,
I do a lot of back teeth with CEREC, which is great.
that's
But
nice.
I was gonna actually place temporary bond, like temporary cement, not actually permanently cement them in,
Yeah.
because then I want him to do Invisalign. Then he needs an implant on the lower left, and he wants to redo his uppers and do his lower teeth in veneers. So this is the
Mm,
type of person where like money is not a thing, right? That's not a problem for a kid like this. It's more so just teaching him that there's a fast way and then there's a right way to do this,
yeah.
and doing it the slow way is the right way, because if we don't, we're going to have to prepare your teeth super aggressively, which is not what we want.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
just educating him on like why, like what's the difference between a crown and a veneer, why do we do one versus the other, what are the long-term risks, why are you getting these root canals, is your bite healthy, you know, there's a lot that goes into it,
Mm.
as you
Yeah,
know.
there is a lot that goes into it, and exactly what you're saying. Like the order is crucial. If you skip steps or you try to do something too fast, that could really compromise something later down the road. And unfortunately, that's what it sounds like. It's. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But for stains, that should have been veneers, not. Well, we don't have to.
Right, exactly. But it's actually kind of sad because you still see dentists, like I'm sure you've seen them like on social media, that are like, there's one guy that's like so famous in Texas that's like, I don't believe in veneers. They don't last. And then people have in their mind, like they hear it from some person on X, that veneers are weak and that they chip and they fall off, and you know, crowns are better. Bye, Ludi. Thank you so much. So I think a big part of it is educating people too, right?
Yeah.
If we have a laminate veneer bonded entirely to enamel, right? The studies actually show us that we have not decreased the biomechanical strength of that tooth. So if you do enamel based laminate veneers, you're not destroying your teeth. You're not setting yourself up for dental problems down the road. There's
Mm,
zero evidence to say that. So
yeah.
that's why it's very nuanced. There's a lot that people in the public are misinformed on because of social media.
There's a lot of misinformation from all different angles and sides, and it's getting to a point where I don't know. And then with AI, and then with certain what is it, the deep fake video? It's going to be interesting to see where this all goes. How do you verify and authenticate things?
Yeah, I personally love like the ability to use the AI because I feel like it only helps, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I tore my Achilles recently, which sucks. But you see my knee scooter?
Wow, look at that Ferrari we got back there, huh?
This actually kind of is the Ferrari of knee scooters because look at these tires.
Whoa,
I know,
it's that green Lamborghini.
all terrain. So my the reason I got the all terrain tires is because my buddy, he tore his Achilles last year, and he had like the little tired one, and he was going through his house, and he went up on the carpet and he fell, and he kind of like messed up his foot again.
Rip the other Achilles up. Oh,
So where was
you
I
could
going?
go off roading in that puppy.
Yeah, I was actually like I was out this weekend with it, like at a street like farmers market.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really good. It's so hard because in dentistry, we're not at a desk all day. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, who is this?
This is Gandhi.
Hey, Gandhi.
Hi, Gandhi.
My gosh, look at the little hair on the top of the head. He or she.
He.
He Gandhi. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so he's our office dog.
So cute. And is Gandhi yours? This is your dog?
Yeah,
Oh my god, so cute. I love the hair.
yeah, we love him.
Man,
He's just like jumping up on my leg, so that's why I wanted to like introduce him, because if you see me petting something, that's what it is.
thank you. I'm a big dog fan, so I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to get another dog in a couple of years. My dog passed like 5, 6 years ago now, but yeah, they're like family members, you know.
Yeah, man.
So you have Gandhi come to office with you? Is that every day or?
Yeah, not every day. Probably like twice a week. Kind of just depends.
Oh,
So my wife, her work schedule is like she's sometimes in the field and sometimes she's working from home. So thanks, Jennifer. Thank you. When she's home, she's with him, and then when she's not home,
yeah.
I bring him.
The day that he comes into the office. What days do you work?
I work 4 days a week, so I work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Monday. Okay, so Wednesdays. Oh, why'd you pick Wednesday? Is that a lighter day? Did you? Yeah, let me know.
You know what? There's no real reason for it. I think it's because I like to break the week up. I never want to work 5 days clinically. I think it's too much. I mean, I did in the beginning, but
Yeah.
it's I think four is plenty. We're a 4 by 10 office, so we do 10-hour days, 4 days a week.
That's okay. Okay, yeah. Those are long days.
Yeah, they're long days, but honestly, like we work 5. We take an hour for lunch. We're not really work clinically 10 hours, but we come a little early, get ready, do our huddle, and then after the day, like today, for instance, we had a consult that lasted until it's 6:41. So it's a long day, and
Yeah.
you got to respect your team, and you want them to get home to their families.
So they're coming in at 8, and then they stayed
They
until
come at
9.
7:30. 7:30. First patient's at 8.
Got it. Got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are long days.
long day. And then this doesn't happen that often, but there's some days where we're here late, and so it's
Right.
nice to have that day in the middle of the week. Take care of your personal things. You got to go to the doctor. You got to run errands.
Oh yeah, I know. No, that's a really good point. I think my dream is actually I'm at 5 days a week. I'm gonna do Friday right now. My dream is to eventually one day. I don't know when it's gonna come, but yeah, to do 4 days a week. I would pick Monday off though. That's where I'm curious with the Wednesday.
So here's the nice thing is that when you have your office, you can choose which day you want to take, and you can switch it up if you want. So, for instance, this week, like tomorrow, we're working
Yeah,
because we're off Thursday, Friday, and then if I'm going on like a weekend trip, as long as I plan it ahead of time, we'll work Wednesday and take off Friday, or we'll take off Monday and work like we don't like we sometimes work Wednesdays, but it just depends.
you have that day. You could shift it. I love that, man.
Exactly.
So this is your practice. This is your baby.
Yeah, it's my little small solo private practice.
When did you start this? Yeah, I want to know more about your background.
Yeah, so you're from New York, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm also from New York. So born in Staten Island,
Mm-hmm.
lived there till I was like 4 years old. Then my family moved to Jersey. So I grew up in Jersey, like down the shore near like Belmar. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I grew up in Tinton Falls, which is like a suburb that's just like a couple miles inland from Asbury Park.
Spell that for me.
Tinton Falls, Tinton Falls.
Yeah, Tintin. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Tintin, New Jersey.
It's
Yeah.
like Tinton Falls. It's like if you look on the map, it's like very like long and slender. It's actually the town in Jersey that occupies the most exits on the Garden State Parkway. But my friends would say that like Tinton Falls is like stealing everyone's glory because it's so long and slender. It's not really
Yeah.
that big, but it's just long and slender, and there's just a
Yeah.
lot of exits.
Coming out onto it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So then I went to TCNJ. Have you heard of TCNJ?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the college in New
It's
Jersey.
New Jersey. Yeah. That was something. The College of New Jersey, right?
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah. 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 And now that was you went there for undergrad.
Undergrad, yeah.
Undergrad. Okay.
And then I went to NYU Dental and graduated 2017, and
Right.
then did a GPR at USC out here in LA,
Uh,
and then met my wife who's from LA.
in residency.
Yeah, but she's not a dentist.
What did she do?
She is like an interior designer. She does interior design, architecture, home staging. So completely different industry. I didn't meet her like at work at all. I actually met her at a music festival
What music festival was it? What was the?
called Crossed. It's in San Diego.
Is that EDM? Is that
It's like house music, yeah, electronic.
nice? Nice. Nice.
It
Okay.
was really fun festival. Right on the bayfront. Really, if you ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. They do it
Yeah.
twice a year, and it's just beautiful with the sun setting over the water, and it's just incredible.
And what part? So what part? You're still in California, right?
Yeah, so I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in like Beverly Grove, which is
I
down
saw the Beverly. Yeah.
down the street from Beverly Hills. So anyone who's not from LA, Beverly Hills.
Right. Right.
And then yeah, basically we met like 6 months into my 1 year residency,
Hmm.
and I told her when we first met, like, hey, I'm moving back to New York. That's where I'm from, and here I am. So
Didn't work.
it didn't work. So
Is most of your family still in New Jersey?
my family, it's funny. My most of my family is yes, but my mom and dad moved to Florida. So
Oh,
they moved to Florida when I moved to California. So for me, it was like, I was like, where do I go? Right? I'm like, I have a great life here. I'm loving my life here.
yeah.
I was planning to go back to New York City, to be honest, and like do
Hmm.
the whole like New York City thing.
Still thinking about it, or you're locked down in
You
California
know
now?
what? It's tough, man. Like I think like a part of me wants to do it and have a practice even like in maybe like South Florida where my parents are at, and then like New York City, and then
Hmm.
LA. But for me, I think like it's important to think like what is the cost benefit analysis?
Yeah.
How much happier is making that much more money going to make me? And am I going to really enjoy like having to fly across the country every
Mm.
month or every 6 weeks?
It's a lot.
It's a lot, man. I think we as dentists we have to prioritize health and well-being, right?
Yeah,
When you're taking care of others, you have to first take care of yourself.
that's for sure. Ah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So I presume that your wife is from California, right?
Yeah, so she's born and raised here in Los Angeles.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you got a nice. Her whole family's there.
Yeah, her whole family's here, and like she's super close with her family. So it's nice. I love her family. They treat me like I'm in their family, and now I am, and it's incredible. It's I'm very very lucky and grateful.
Yeah, and I mean, you come from family back. I know everyone I know from Staten Island, which is through residency. I met so many people in the hospitals in Manhattan. Everyone's from Staten Island. Very close knit family. It's very close knit. So I could see why you appreciate that. You probably come from a nice close knit family.
Yeah,
Do you have any siblings?
I do. Yeah, I have two older brothers and an older sister.
Oh, so you do. You have a big family. Yeah.
My older brother is the only one that still lives on Staten Island, and he lives in Richmond Town.
Okay.
And my other brother lives in Jersey, and my sister lives in Jersey.
So okay, so everyone's still around that New York, New Jersey area, except for your parents, huh?
My cousins, all my
They
cousins,
had enough.
they're all there, but just my parents. And then even my aunts and uncles, like who are like siblings with my dad, they all
Yeah.
like, spend the winters in Florida. They've been doing it for a long time.
Mm. So then your parents, I was making a joke like they had enough of the New York, New Jersey area, so they went down to Florida. But maybe that was just like closer with their brothers, sisters, your aunts and uncles.
Yeah, I mean, they were just basically like, you know what, like we're just gonna do what we want for the rest of our life, and I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're happy, right? And, dude, I love. Well, how is it in Beverly Hills? Do you guys have seasons over there? I mean,
We do. I mean, like not as much as the East Coast, right? So it's
yeah,
definitely not as like much of a temperature difference, but it's definitely gets cold here. Like
yeah.
it's weird. Like when people visit me and they're inside my house, it's the coldest 50 degrees you've ever felt. So it's 50 degrees, but it feels like it's 20 degrees. It's hard to explain, but
Yeah.
it's cold inside your bones.
Yeah, yeah. Is it like are you near the water too?
We're about
I've never forgive me, I've never been to California. I've been dying to get over there. I love wine. I haven't been able to.
you gotta make a trip out, man. I'd love to show you around the city and take you to some good spots.
Yeah, man.
It's like New York, man. Like it's funny. I had only been out here one time. I visited friends out here when I was in dental school, and that's when I looked at programs for GPR. And before that, like growing up, I never came to California once. I
Huh.
never, ever, ever thought I would be here.
I
But
feel like yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, look, there's obviously negative things about it, right? Like you could just look on the news.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I think it's all about like your community of people that you're around and what you make it. I thankfully I love it. There's a lot of things I love about it, and I think quality of life is what matters most.
What like initiated that start to looking in, being in New York forever and then you decided USC? Like what kind of got you to look over on the did you always know you wanted to see the other side, the other coast for a while
To
or
be honest with you, my mindset was like, all right, I did undergrad, I did dental school, all on the East Coast. I grew up here. I've been here my whole life. I want to experience another part of the country,
Hmm.
and I was like, what better than to do it during my 1 year GPR?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great thought. Yeah.
So in my situation, like I was in my head, I was like, oh, I'm going to come back to New York. It's just going to be a year, and then I ended up staying. But I think for me, like looking at programs, right? I was like, all right, I applied to some programs in New York,
Hmm.
but I visited programs in LA and San Diego, Florida, Jersey, New York. I visited a bunch of programs and tried to get an idea for which one was the highest caliber that I thought I would get the most experience in.
Right.
And USC was actually, so I ranked USC first, but the La Jolla one was my favorite.
Which one? La Jolla? Where's that?
Yeah, La Jolla, it's in San Diego.
Why'd you rank? If that was your favorite, why?
I have a mentor who basically told me to do LA. Yeah, yeah.
Who's
So,
this mentor? Tell
so
me about it.
do you know Dr. Appa? I'm sure you
Of
do.
course, yeah.
So Mike Appa, so he's a mentor of mine. I've known him for a long, long time. I'm friends with Larry's son. So
Okay.
when I was in dental school, like a first year dental student, I went to Larry's house in the Hamptons for a party, and we were like, he was like somebody was like, yeah, like his dad invented veneers, and I was like, shit, like very nice house and fun party. And so one of my buddies was really good buddies with Eric, who's Larry's son.
Mm.
And so then from hanging around Eric and meeting Larry, then I met Mike, and then Mike basically started mentoring me. And it was like I would text him and be like, "What do you think I should do?" So I was gonna do San Diego, and then he was like, "Do LA." LA, San Diego, he said something like, "Oh, it's like a rowdy bar town." LA has diversity, culture, and for what we're doing, which is like the high end aesthetics, it's
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more of a global market.
for sure. No, that's a really good point. And how did that pan out? Do you agree? Did everything work out exactly the way you thought and how he was kind of mentoring you for?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think, everything went great for me here. Like it was an amazing experience at USC. It was
Yeah.
fun. It was a fun year. I learned a lot. I worked at the LAC USC Medical Center. I was working with the oral and maxillofacial surgery residents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the GPR residents do a full month in OS.
Oh, so yeah, you got it really good.
So I was for a full month. I was doing wisdom teeth on inmates. It's actually crazy. Did you ever do this? Like, do they do this in New York? Where
On
they?
inmates, yeah, we Bellevue Hospital's connected with Rikers Island. There were a lot of there are actually some people in the news that we would see. Anyway, yeah.
So I mean, it's an interesting experience, but it was great. We learned a lot, and there's a lot of like big trauma cases that they were doing there.
Mm,
Gunshot wounds every day.
yeah, yeah.
And so I was making friends with the oral surgery residents, and man, I respect you guys so much. I respect what you guys do so
Oh,
much because it is tough, man. I saw how hard these residents work and how many hours they put in. It's like you basically left dentistry and you entered medicine.
in a sense, yeah. And now, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of like comments come up and TikTok comments about how I don't know. There's a lot of gatekeeping that's being more and more frequent between like general dentists and periodontists from oral surgery, and then some are collaborating. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of interesting things, but
Yeah, I heard what you were saying about how like oral surgery needs to kind of like take control of all on X, and
I think so.
I agree with you.
I think so. There's a lot of complications that can occur with it. I mean, and certain general dentists, certain periodontists, sure, they can do it. There was a guy in the comments section that saying only prosthodontists should be doing all on X's. I'm like, wait a minute. Let's take a step back here. First of all, don't tell me what like oral surgery residents should just stick to, and I would never tell you just what to stick with pros. But like you need to have a certain level of understanding from prior surgeries of head and neck cancer, of trauma, to know what to do with that mandible and what not to do with that mandible. And oh man, anyway, it's interesting. Yeah, we're gonna get into those topics with that post that you'd commented, the other guy who said we'll get to there. We'll get there.
It definitely remind me to talk about that.
We're gonna get into that a little bit in the end, but oh yeah, I wanted to hear. So after residency, you met your wife and everything, and then but starting practice, because I mean I think it's not every, but like a lot of dental students, a lot of young dentists, their dream is to either get in a partnership position or an ownership position because For me personally, like dude, I told you, like I would love to work that 4 day a week. That that's the perfect. I really think that's the sweet spot for dentistry. And I mean, you said it yourself. Sure, maybe you have 4 longer days, 10 plus hour days, but I think that really gets that in your sweet spot because it's just 4 days. Sure, they're long. You maximize them, and then you get a nice long 3 day weekend, or you bump that day into the middle of the week, gives you a little break of those 2 long days. It makes so much sense. And when you're treating patients, I think having that clear mindedness from a little bit more time off is it only helps you on the days that you're on. So I love that. That's why I wanted to pick your brain a little bit getting into that situation, you know?
Yeah, man, 100%. I mean, it's. I know some offices they're open 7 days. Some offices are open 7 days. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. Could you imagine doing that?
No, but they have like two staffs. So they have one staff that comes in like early until like 2, and they have another set of staff that come in at like 3 or 2 to like 8 or 9, and they do that 7 days a week.
And then like, are they switching the dentist too?
Yeah, they have like different associates that will work. Yeah, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy what's happening to dentistry in this country. It's becoming so commoditized and corporatized. And I get it. I get it, right? Dentists are bad business owners, right? But I think like moving
Better
forward,
than medical, better than physicians, though. I must say that better than physicians generally. Generally,
yeah, well, physicians, they're so I originally wanted to do plastic surgery when I was younger, like when I was in high school. I was
mm,
I was like very interested in plastic surgery for some reason. I knew I wanted to be a doctor, right? Or
mm,
I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor. And then my really good friend in high school, both her parents were doctors, and we used to hang out at her house, and I would always like pick their brain and talk to them. And they would always discourage me from it. They would always tell me like, don't go into medicine, like it's not what it used to be. Like then
yeah,
in college, like I was an open science major, open options science major, and my buddy in college, both his parents were dentists, and they were like, "Oh, we love our career. We own our own business. It's rewarding. It's they have a great life." And so that was kind of like for me, just anecdotal, but I was like, maybe I want to do something regarding aesthetics, but in dentistry.
yeah, yeah. I've very similar pathway, so I know exactly what you mean. They were always, yeah, they were like, it's not what it used to be and stuff. Question for you though: did you definitely ask them questions like, okay, so why not? When they were saying, don't go into medicine, it's not what it used to be, stuff along those lines. Did either of them or both of them or did any of them own their own practices? And what were the specifics of like why they said, if you remember, if there was any reason that stood out?
So I remember, I don't think they owned their own practice. I believe they worked in a group. And
Okay.
I remember the mom was in radiology. I forget what the dad was in. They were both doctors, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember them saying like your ability to actually treat the patient has decreased, and it's become so much of a prescribe this medicine and hope it works. And they were just complaining about like insurance, which obviously insurance doesn't seem like it's gotten any better. But think about there's not, I mean, as far as I'm aware, there's not that many private practice medical doctors.
Right.
It's just all hospital based and corporatized groups, right?
It is for the most part. There are the here and there and stuff. Oh, but it's not the predominant space. And now, what you're saying about dentistry in the United States, getting very corporatized. The same wave is happening in dentistry that happened in medicine, and it's so funny because I have the exact same story. I met these dentists at the gym. I was thinking medicine or PA or something, right? And then I met these dentists at the gym. Always so exciting, motivating. They were all very happy. They all owned their own practices. So it's the same story where it's like, it seems that they were always stressed, sure, but they enjoyed it. The rewarding. That was another thing. They would say it was very rewarding. A lot of stress and responsibility, but it was their bait. It was their practice. It was like so I think the reward was there, and therefore the ROI was there. And for listeners, ROI isn't just money. ROI isn't just a financial means to an end. Okay, ROI could be working 4 days a week. That's literally my dream. Get a little more time with friends, family. Time to travel would be nice, right? I'd love to see California. Get a glass of wine with you, Matt. But ROI is what you make of it. But you can only get that ROI or opportunity to find the ROI for you when you own like you're an owner, right? And not everyone needs to be an owner. That's not what I'm saying. But you need to find, the whole point of life is like to find a career path that you're excited to wake up every single day and work. In order to get there, like dentistry, medicine, everything, I think is super rewarding and stuff. But you can't have someone who's like like a business degree who knows business running and owning all the dentists, all the doctors, and these corporatized models. You're seeing these hospitals be run by these MPHs and these business degrees and stuff, and they know their stuff, but you can't have them run the doctors who ultimately take an oath of ethics that are the ones treating the patients, right? Because every patient's different, every scenario is different, and so anyway, just to fast forward, um, we're starting to see that trend in dentistry. What happened in medicine, right? Like big time, a big wave is coming over in dentistry, and you talk to these doctors, you talk to the physicians. I did to mine. No one was happy. No one was happy. But at least at that time, they said that there were hardships in dentistry, but they were happy. You would say everyone would tell you it was happy. Everyone, all my mentors, they were happy at the time. And now it's going the other direction. And I think a lot of those dentists that own their own practices, they sold out.
Yes, they did. Actually, my dentist that I grew up going to in Jersey, he sold to corporate, and I was like, "How could you?"
Right? Yeah.
But he was like, "Look, man, like, he's like, when someone offers you that kind of money, like, good luck turning it down." So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I
Yeah.
think some of the groups are trying to do it right and focus on, patient care and the experience and be more of like that kind of like personalized touch, which
Yeah.
I know that there's some smaller DSOs that are like going in that lane, which I respect, but we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I mean, I think there will always be a place for boutique high-end
Mm,
private practices, which not for everybody, but personally that's what I want to continue to build.
yeah. Yeah, you can afford to sit down and spend as much time as the patient needs. You can't put a number on that. It's not just checking off the list. It's the art of forming the treatment planning process. Exactly what you said in the beginning. I love that, man. I really do.
Yeah, but the sad thing, right? And I don't know if you've seen this as well, but on TikTok, it's like, I swear, like everyone complains about money on TikTok. I think maybe because it's like younger people generally, and I made this this joke, or I said this to my wife, and she was like, "Yeah, it's because all the people who have money are not on scrolling on TikTok because they're working." So it's like, I mean, if you go on TikTok, like if you go to my videos that like have performed the best, and you
Yeah,
look at the
yeah,
comments, all it is like, dentistry is a scam. How could you? How could it be $5,000 for a tooth? And I get it. I get it. Dentistry is expensive, and wages haven't gone up, and the cost of living is higher. Groceries are higher. I get it. You know, and it's kind of sad on one hand when you think about it, because a practice like mine that takes a lot of time to treatment plan and really does give that like personalized attention to each person,
yeah,
doesn't rush through treatment, doesn't book their schedule with five different people at the same time, right? I see one person at a time. So these types of offices, it's kind of sad because they're they're the patients are those who are more affluent. So
yeah.
on one hand, like someone who didn't grow up in an affluent household, like I grew up very middle class, like I do feel for that. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Because
mm.
I think that it's something that everyone deserves.
I agree. Everyone does deserve it, right? And, and the insurance squeeze is just it's forcing everyone.
It's brutal. I mean, the other thing is all I see on TikTok is people discouraging others from going into dentistry, because if you start to look at I think they just came out with this report that like profitability is down among dentists in the US, and like income is down for dentists, and with the insurance reimbursements like literally not changing in 30 years
Or more.
or more, which is insane. Like my hygienist makes more per hour than the insurance company pays for a cleaning.
Isn't that unbelievable?
It's
It's
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
So it's
You
literally
can't
like
afford it. Yeah.
we're losing money for that person coming in to do a cleaning. We're losing money. The only way that offices do it is they pack two people per hour,
Yep.
and
Yep. They're doing cleanings in 10 minutes.
it's sad, but I don't want to do that.
Right. They're not making it sustainable to stay open. They're not. And people are questioning, like, oh, how is dentistry so expensive? Well, if you trace everything inflate here, I'll just throw out a couple spiels for listeners real quick. Dental insurance companies, it's just a coupon. We all know this. It's just a small discount on it. The reimbursement fees of dentistry in insurance have been based on the 1970s, and they really haven't increased since then. The maximum was $1,000 to $1,500 in the 1970s. It's still only $1,500 to $2,000. If you traced inflation, it would be between $6,000 and $8,000 now every year for a patient to do what they want to do with dentistry. It was based off of how much it would cost to take every tooth out and give a patient full dentures. And since then, they just haven't increased at all. So patients miss out because now insurance are also denying reimbursement for certain things. So they're limiting what patients can get, so access to actual treatment. And then they're not supporting providers by reimbursing them what it actually costs to do the work, like you're saying with the hygienist. So there's no support for preventative work anymore. And yeah, that's why a lot of dentists, they don't take insurance. I mean, it's getting to the point. It's like, how can you take insurance at this point? It's like, you're in LA. I mean,
Yeah,
the taxes,
it's
oh,
it's insane. I mean, it's very difficult, and I definitely see where people are coming from when they say I wouldn't recommend dentistry as a career anymore. I see that. Like if a random person, at a social event was like, how do you like your career? My honest response would be, I love what I do. I do. I personally think I made the right decision for me, right?
yeah,
And I like what I do. I'm passionate about it. I really do mean that. But it is hard. Like like I respect Dennis so much, and it wasn't until I owned my practice, running the business side, dealing with the employees and the clinical care. It's just it's hard. It's a lot, and I think
responsibility.
yeah, man, it's a lot, and I think you got to be the right type of person to be able to do it. I don't think it's for
Mm,
everyone because I think you have to have thick skin. You can't necessarily let people saying things like, "Oh, I hate the dentist." You can't let that bother you. It's not you. It's their experience. So if you're the type of person that's going to let that bother you, then you probably shouldn't be a dentist.
yeah, 100%. And always putting patients first. And yeah, the whole, yeah, man, it's kind of an interesting situation. So I want to know also more about how you got to starting and then we got to go into the topic of the guy in the Instagram, the guy that you tag his handle.
Yeah.
But first, let's start where we start with the beginnings of your practice. So after residency, you graduated, you
So I
stayed.
stayed. Yep. I had a couple job offers in LA because I had kind of like networked a little bit with dentists in Los Angeles, just going to
Yeah.
CE courses and kind of learning, meeting different people, and was offered a few positions right out of school. So I worked like a lot of associates. I worked at a couple different offices throughout LA. I moved to the West Side. I lived in Playa del Rey, which is like right near the beach, for a year. Then I got an opportunity to be an associate for this dentist on Rodeo Drive named Dr. Sam Soleil, who's
Okay. So
like
yeah.
very very like well known kind of like celebrity dentist, and that was a great experience. I learned a lot just being in that environment, doing high end large cases on a daily basis, and learning from him not just the clinical. To be honest, I think the most important thing to be successful in dentistry is how well you can communicate.
Mm,
I think we all need to spend more time studying and practicing and training on communication than
mm,
any other skill. I really do believe that because communication is the most important thing. The ability to connect with patients, the ability to explain what you're doing and what their problem is, and always making it make feel like you're on their team, because
yeah.
it's not you versus them, it's you and them on a team together versus their problem,
For
right?
sure. And then communicating to other specialists to bring in the teamwork and collaboration too. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so you right, having a team of specialists that you trust and rely on and communicate with, I think that's super important too.
Yeah.
So to your question, so I worked with Soleil on Rodeo Drive for about a little over a year, and then COVID hit. Yeah, so that was 2020, and then everything shut down. It wasn't the type of thing where I could continue to work. There was no patients coming in, so I was kind of just not working, doing my thing. And then this was right around the time that I was like, you know what? Like, this is a weird time with this pandemic, but I think I'm ready to do my own thing. I think I'm finally ready. And so I basically did what would you call it, a jump start. I basically
Mm,
bought a practice that was in a great part of town that I really liked. I lived right nearby, and I was very centralized, and it's just a great area. My
yeah.
neighborhood is it's a really good neighborhood right next to Beverly Hills. So it's definitely on like the more affluent side of the city, but really like centrally located. And the practice that I bought was open 2 days a week. There was no hygiene. There was no team at all.
Oh, so you found a diamond in the rough. You could add these things in, add 2 more days a week.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, like a lot of like practice transition specialists and coaches and stuff, would almost recommend against that because it's definitely higher risk.
Sure.
Because yes, it's less expensive to purchase it. Because my practice, I think it was only like 250, which is like for a practice like nothing.
And in that,
Yeah, but but you know, like for me, it worked out great. It was great because what I did was I on day one, I slowly over time reinvested and renovated the practice. I built a new desk. I knocked down walls and made it what I want it to be. I rebranded, changed the name to
mhm.
the current name, which is my last name, Dental Aesthetics. And then the rest is history, man. That was 2020, so it just hit the 5 year mark.
you got a you got an expert interior designer, right?
Sure do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like her big like I was like her first like big project. And it's funny because she works with a lot of like very high end like affluent people who are doing this in their home, in Bel Air and like these big homes in LA.
Yeah.
And she always jokes like, yeah, like you were my client that had the smallest budget. Because at the time, 5 years ago, I was trying to do it for as little as I could. There was
Right.
not that much money coming in at the time.
Right. You just bought the practice. I mean, everything went to that, right? Just to get the practice alone. I mean, especially coming out of residency like that, you were that was about 2 years out, right? But it's only 2 years out. It's not like
So yeah,
5, 10 years out.
2 years out, 2 years out, 2 years out. I know I still have some buddies that I went to school with that are still associates, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've heard from some people like the only thing you'll wish when you get your practice is that you would have started sooner.
That's what I've heard. You're not the first person to say that. And you know what? I'm looking at you, we're talking, and you sound so much happier than a lot of the what ifs or the unknowns or where am I going to be in 5 years kind of combos or, you know what I mean?
I believe that if opportunity doesn't knock, you have to build a door. So I wasn't waiting around for nobody to give me an
Mm,
opportunity or put me on or nothing. I was like, I'm gonna do this on my own.
yeah. And to buy the practice, I'm not trying to pry too much financially. I'm just trying to get an idea. And for listeners, because everyone wants to, a lot of people go into dentistry, they want to own their own practice. You have to take out a loan. You contact a bank and you take out a loan to kind of do
Yeah,
that, or is
so
it
that's
multiple?
typically how it works. You just have the practice appraised by the bank, and then the bank loves to give a loan to a dentist. So getting a loan for a practice is actually very easy. But for my practice, I didn't actually even take out a loan from a bank because the guy who I bought my office from, he was kind of like a friend. He became a friend, and we basically did a seller financing model, which it's like totally legal and a lot of people do it, but
Yeah.
the same steps. You still have a lawyer who reviews the contract and you agree on a purchase price. And then in our case, I think I put like 75,000 down. So 75,000 of money that I had saved
Hmm.
down, and then he financed the rest over, I think it was like 5 years. And we did like this, I forget the name of it, but it's like a term where the interest starts to balloon after like year three. So
Mm,
the payments start slow for the first year or two to give you time to kind of ramp it up. And
yeah.
then the idea is that you pay it off early to avoid the higher interest. He
Right.
told
Right.
he told me this from the beginning, and he's still a good friend of mine to this day. Like he was actually at my wedding this past summer, and
Oh, congratulations, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
thank you so much, man. He told me, he's like, dude, you're gonna pay it off in like a year, and that's exactly what I did. So literally, I paid him off. I paid him monthly for the first year. We set up like an automatic transfer from my account to his, and then after that first year, I just wrote him a lump sum check. Yeah.
Dude, you're
So
You earned it, like, but you earned it. You're in a sweet spot.
Thank you, man. It might not be the way for everyone, and I think like some people might prefer to buy a practice that has a little bit more patience, like a little bit more what do they call it? Goodwill. But, everyone's different.
Everyone's different. You got to find the right opportunity for you, and it sounds like you did. Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Wow. No, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. It's so hard to find that. I have so many friends in dentistry who it's not struggling. It's haven't found the right fit yet. And oh man, I was talking to someone yesterday. DSO. Um, they call you. They call you when you're on your off day, and they're like, "Hey, what happened with this patient? Why didn't you do that crown? Or why didn't you?" They're about upselling, right? And he was telling me it's just like, first of all, you're calling me on my day off. Second of all, he tried to play it where it's like, I'm with a patient right now. Can you just email it to me or text me, like whatever that they would never put these things in writing to protect themselves. And God, man, and you have, I'm sure you have friends too. People feel stuck. People feel stuck, and dentistry can be tough at times. And that's my only concern is because when you have private practice, right, you get to own or buy your practice. You get to make it what you want it to be. You can optimize it in the sense of you do what you want to do and how you want to do it now. And I think in dentistry, such a demanding profession of ours, higher stress, high responsibility, you're treating patients what they speak with, what they eat with, and what they talk with, how they present themselves to others. It's a triple threat and or more. And you need to have the utmost. You can't be having people calling you. I don't know.
No, I hear
The
you. You
corporate.
gotta have boundaries. You gotta. One of my friends slash older brother mentors of mine here in LA. He always says things like he'll call me Habibi. He'll say, Habibi, do you think that their medical doctor would do that? So then why would we do that? Right? Like a patient was like, oh, like I can only come in on Mondays. And this guy only comes to my office on Fridays to do surgery. So
Mm, mm,
I was like, can you come on a Monday? And he was like, no. He was like, tell him to come on a Friday. And I'm like, well, he's got this big job, he can't do it. Like, could you do it just for this guy? And he's like, no. Like, if he wants to see me, he has to take off time from his work and he has to
mm,
come on the day that I'm available. And I just respect that so much because the same thing with like when you go in for like an orthopedic surgery, right? The surgeon is not counting how many pieces of gauze they use or
mm.
how many sutures they use or anything like that. They're doing the best job that they can, and however much material it takes, that's what it takes to get the job done.
Get the job done.
And so that's how we should treat our patients is like he's doing surgery and there's like these different vials of bone graft and membranes, whatever. It doesn't matter. He says to me, he's like, I never ever want to think about not using product because it's going to cost more money on our end. I want us to
Yeah.
charge enough up front where we use whatever it is we need to use to get the job done correctly.
I think that's the best way to do it, especially in some things that we're doing, some of the procedures. I do think that is the best way to do it overall. You gotta give yourself some wiggle room to get the job done. It's exactly what you said. Yeah, man. Yeah, you gotta do that. You need a private practice. You gotta create your own environment, your own culture. That's another thing too. I can tell you, you were just saying goodbye to your. I pay attention to these things. You were just saying goodbye to some people in your office by name, calling them by the first. I love that, man.
Yeah, I mean,
And I bet they appreciate that.
my office is like we're a small office. Like we have like 5 team members, and they're literally with you more than you're with your family. So
Yeah.
you have to like them. They have to like you. And hands down, the hardest part of owning a practice is them. Hands
And
down,
then your family just that's what they become.
it's your work family. So you have to create good relationships and the emotional piggy bank. My consultant tells me is every day you're making these deposits into this emotional piggy bank.
It's true. It's true. But it's good. It's good though,
It is.
The emotional piggy bank. We're coming up on an hour. Let's hit this topic real quick. Let's hit this topic where you would mention I was talking about on this what was this video the other day. I was talking about yeah, people bone grafting the wisdom tooth site after they get the wisdom tooth out. But for the whole cavitation surgery thing. And this was a
Yeah, they're doing crazy shit. They're doing like crazy stuff. They're going in with like red light therapy and lasers and I don't even know what else and
lot of stuff.
cavitation surgeries. So, anyways, let me start by saying this. I'm not trying to hate on this guy, Doctor.
I don't want to like call. I don't want to
I
like
also,
call anyone out or anything. But let's talk about the
I
things.
yeah. So I think it's fair to like to you can disagree with someone on one or two things and then still think that they're putting out good stuff. Like I actually read that guy's book, and it's called "It's All in Your Mouth," and
I saw that. Yeah.
it's actually a very good book, and it's something that not enough dentists are talking about, which is diet, lifestyle, right? If you like eat super clean and healthy, and you have like moderately good hygiene,
Mm.
and you make sure you have straight teeth, you most likely are like never going to have any dental disease in your life, right? Like most likely. Obviously there's some caveats here and there, but for the most part, I think the systemic link and diet is so important, and I don't think that we talk about it enough. In dentistry, we're trained to just do procedures. So when we do a filling or when we extract a tooth, we're just treating the symptom of the disease.
Mm.
We're not treating the disease itself. So
Right.
truly treating the disease is asking ourselves, why did this form in the first place? And if this is another thing that's kind of sad, is that there's no emphasis on this because there's no code for it. There's no money
Mm.
to be made for it, so therefore people don't care about it.
That's it. That's it. We're talking less sugar, more brushing. And while that is generally that's good, what about the sugar? It's exactly what you said. That it's the diet. We got to look into the diet, the acids. How much soda are you drinking a day? That's sugar and acid now.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's so much. I mean, me and my office, like anyone that has caries in my practice, we send them home with this book. It's called "Why Me: The Unfair Reason Why You Get Cavities and What to Do About It." It's
Hmm.
it's written by a dentist for patients, so it's actually it's really good. It's a really good book, all about what is biofilm and pH levels, like pH levels, mouth breathing, of course, sugar, water intake, saliva, xerostomia. So it's a really quick read, and I basically send every person home with this who has active caries.
That's great.
This is one of the things we do for caries management, but it's I think there's this, like, I know people hate the term holistic and biological, and I see why, but I think that there's this like functional dentistry community that's starting to form, and I actually
Hmm.
saw that there's some of these dentists are actually creating like an academy to train other dentists in this, which I love. I think it's really important that we actually educate and teach people why this is happening. What can you do to prevent it? Because
Right.
just the same way, like, did you read Peter Attia's book, The Outlive? Do you know?
No.
Do you know Dr. Peter Attia?
Atia. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
haven't read the book.
his book is incredible. It's called Outlive. It basically talks about the five horsemen that kill us: metabolic dysfunction, cancer, heart disease. I forget the other ones, but in his book, he talks about how, oh, neurologic disorders. So like neurologic disorders, right? Like Alzheimer's and dementia. These are actually starting to form in our brains like 30 years before any symptoms occur.
I've been hearing about this.
So it's not like medicine 3.0, he calls it, is actually preventing it from starting in the first place. So starting early.
Preventative care.
And so that's what I personally think we need to focus more on in dentistry is more of this preventative care and education.
I agree, and I like how the biological, the holistic, all these words that we're calling it. Hopefully, it just gets integrated all into one thing. And I like that they're forming academies. The one thing is certain areas like this cavitation surgery, because we could get into fluoride, nanohydroxyapatite talks to a lot of things getting politically influenced for really no appropriate reason. We need to separate politics from sciences. That's a fact, right? But it's there's also a strategy of using patients' misunderstanding or lack of understanding against them that I'm seeing. And that's what I think this cavitation surgery is. It's like, oh, it's like, well, if you have a cavity of the tooth, right? We remove the cavitation, we remove we create the cavitation by removing the decay, and then we put a filling in, right? And then I think they're going to patients and being like, yeah, well, when you have that tooth removed, we fill it in with bone grafting so you don't have a cavitation there. That's not why we do that. What is the cavitation going to do? I think someone was saying that, well, bacteria accumulate there and stuff, and they're not. If you brush your teeth and you take care of your gums and you get the food out of there, The bacteria aren't accumulating in a little cavitation, indentation in your gum. That is not how this works. You know what I mean? But if you were to come to me and say like, hey, fluoride has a lot of benefits. There's also been a lot of research on how it affects, intelligent in developing children. You That's correct. It's good. It's great for teeth. When you swallow fluoride whole, not great.
Right.
Like we know it. This, you know what I mean? And that's, I think people are kind of twisting things a bit here. And there are a lot of other. Well, I wanted to hear your thoughts.
I found out about this guy because I listened to this dude Max Lugavere's podcast. It's called like Genius Food Podcast, whatever. He's a huge health influencer. Like this dude was invited to the White House with like the whole Make America Healthy Again
Mm-hmm.
to basically like I don't know what he does, but he is one of like the advisors to the Maha movement. I think a lot of what this guy's doing is great, right? They're focusing on like a lot of like the functional medicine that I was talking about earlier and preventative care, which is great. But he had this guy Dr. Dome on who talked about cavitations and
Mm-hmm.
another huge podcast, the Bostic podcast. I forget the name of their podcast, but they had this other dude in New York, Curatola, who who is another one of like the cavitation guys doing saying all this holistic biological stuff. And it's almost like these podcasters, they have these huge platforms and they choose these holistic biological dentists because they're saying pretty outlandish stuff and
Mm-hmm.
it's getting clicks. So they make more money, right? So
Go per click. Yeah.
per click because these are like headlines like, oh, root canals are linked to cancer. And that was what this guy said. Like root canals are linked to cancer. Root canals cause cancer, and it's there's nothing you could do about it. But I think I first saw
There is
him.
something we could do about it. Yeah, just really quickly, like they're fear mongering. They're fear mongering,
Yes,
man. That's what they're
yes.
doing. They're using the fear and people's lack of understanding to. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No worries. I think personally, I think that these types of people aren't. I don't think they're doing this maliciously. I think that they actually believe it. Personally, I think they actually believe it, and I would love to pick your brain about this because you're an oral surgeon. So when you take out a wisdom tooth, right, there is a hole. There's a cavity where the tooth was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that the body goes through this wound healing process.
Yes.
It starts with the blood clot, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so what we know what's happening is the body is sending these cells to the area to basically signal, let's rebuild bone in that area. That's why any that's why sockets heal with no bone graft, right? Because the
Right.
body sends these cells. So
Growth factors, proteins, yeah, but everything. You have fibroblasts, osteoblasts, osteoclasts, yeah, the whole nine yards.
the thing about the cavitations that I would love for you to weigh in on this because I'm with you. I believe that it's BS and that these surgeries they're doing are kind of pointless. But to me, it does make sense that if someone has really poor diet, very like poor systemic health, and they're not providing their body with the right nutrients to heal while they're healing from a wisdom tooth surgery, their body could potentially not fill in healthy bone all the way in that area. And there could be some of this bone that's like unhealthy. That's basically like a little bit, what's the word? Necrotic.
Maybe necrotic or granular, sure. It's more immature rather than full on mature bone. Sure, yeah, okay.
Right. So to me, like that concept almost like makes sense that like if someone is not providing their body with adequate nutrition after this procedure, then they could potentially not heal as well as someone who is providing their body with the right nutrition. But what is your take on it? Like I would love for you as the surgeon to make a video teaching people like why is that BS? You know?
Well, yeah, there's so many, and I see where everything you said right there is excellent, right? But unfortunately, I mean, I've seen people with the worst diets. I've seen people with so much osteoporosis, and yeah, their bone heals differently. Sure, sure, sure. Worst diets, the old ladies junk. They have an HbA1c of 13. They have osteoporosis. They're two different bisphosphonates, not literally two different bisphosphonates. I'm exaggerating, but their bone generally does heal, and sometimes sure they could get like hemorrhage where they get osteonecrosis of the jaw. The fact of the matter is that like when that bony socket is going to heal with bone either way, right? Some take longer than others. And even before that bone heals, it's going to be the gums. The gingiva is going to heal up between 2 and 4 weeks after, right? It could be delayed based on the patient, but like it's going to fill in with gums first, and then it's going to slowly fill itself up with bone, just the body's natural healing process. And yeah, the integrity of that bone, the density of it, and the time at which it will heal, the gums and the bone, it's going to vary. Every patient's different based on their own systems, but then their diet and the host factors, the bacteria in their mouth. But there's no reason to put bone grafting in like a
Right.
wisdom tooth socket, right?
There's no point.
There's It's gonna heal either way. Even if it didn't, it's not like the jaw's gonna fracture. And then say it heals or doesn't heal, and it just stays with a cavitation. The patient's supposed to be brushing the teeth,
Yeah.
right? So
Right. I mean, and also the gum's going to close over, so it's not like it's exposed to the oral environment anyway.
it's not right. And once that clot forms, the body pushes every fibroblasts come in. It pushes everything out anyway. The gums only end up healing first on the outsides of the socket, on the very walls of the socket, right? Unless you get a dry socket, then it takes a little longer, right? But then it heals from the inside out. Anything that's stuck in there does end up eventually getting pushed out, even if it forms into a little pustule, right? It gets pushed out.
That makes sense.
So a patient today, a little pustule that formed after a premolar was extracted, right? But that's no antibiotics. That's healing. Some food got stuck in there. A little bit of gums probably grew over it. The body worked its way out. There's no reason to put bone grafting in there if it's not going to be like used in the future for something, whether it be for an implant or supporting. It's not
Yeah.
for wisdom tooth socket. No,
Right. I mean, PRF maybe, right, for soft tissue healing, but definitely no.
and pure food, great. There's some studies saying that could help with preventing dry sockets. Some say it doesn't help with preventing dry sockets, right? But putting bone graft in there, the reason to put bone graft in there, and you know this, right, is that if there's a significant bone loss on the distal of those second molars, I see that day in and day out. And I don't know, maybe the demographic, no one really wants to get bone grafting back there. What are you going to do, right? But yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
my take on
I
it.
think these people are, like you said, I do think that some of them, I think, believe this stuff, and they're not necessarily trying to dupe people, but maybe some of them are. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, that's for sure.
it's up to us, right? It's up to us to just call them out. And I seen this oral surgeon who's also based on the Northeast, Dr. Rosenfield. I follow her on
Ah,
Instagram.
I think Angela Rosenfeld or something. Yeah,
Uh,
Garden City, right?
Ellen Rosenfeld. Hold on, I don't know her in real life.
Right. That might be right. Yeah.
But anyway, she calls them out in videos.
Ellie Rosenfeld. Yep.
Ellie Rosenfeld, yes. So she calls them out in videos. It's actually great because someone's got to do it.
I it's tough, right? Because you don't want to just allow this incorrect content to mislead people, right? The general public and mislead other dentists to think that some things are correct, right? There's also a professional way to do it, and I don't know. I have another experience. I like reached out to her and I was like, "Hey, great content or something." I think I asked her to be on I don't know, on the podcast or whatever. She's in my area, but like she was just kind of like, "Hey, thanks," and never followed me back. I was like, "Dude, come on, man! Like, what?" I'm not like butthurt or anything, but then I see like the attitude and kind of personality she's portraying. She's kind of using other people's content to call them out, and that kind of, in a way, I get it. I love for good purpose, but
Yeah, I hear you. You don't
I'm
want to
also seeing some. What's the intention?
you don't want
Really?
to
Is
be
it?
too salty all the time. Like also like you know what I mean. Like mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would just encourage more collaboration, more communication, right? What about reaching out? I mean, they would probably never respond, but for example, say you see someone else's work out in there. Let's put social media aside. Say you see someone else's work out there that didn't come out too great, and it's like I have these podcasts with an attorney who does like malpractice cases and stuff, and he was saying the best thing you could do when you do see someone else's work is not encourage the patient to get a lawyer, is not to trash talk the other person's work. You don't know what situation that was happening. You don't know if like the patient was moving. You don't know, like, who knows what happened in that situation. You don't know. Don't trash talk it. Be professional. If it's really that bad and it could affect the patient now or down the downstream or whatever, call them up and ask like, hey, I was looking at this implant today, or hey, I was looking at this filling and just wanted to see your thoughts on it. Is there anything planned for the future? Do we have any treatment rendered still to be rendered? And to kind of communicate, like you were saying before too, we were talking about communication. Communicate these things through, rather than calling someone else directly just to the public on social media. There are benefits to that, I know, but I think that could potentially be looked at as self-serving and unprofessional. Potentially. Look, I don't know her situation either. I'm not trying to call her out now. I'm not trying to like do a double standard here, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what the answer
I
is
hear
there.
you. I mean, I see both sides.
So, but yeah, yeah, man. We'll work on this though, dude. I appreciate our chat tonight, and I'm glad I got you like meet you through this.
Yeah,
I'd love to be there having a glass of Cabernet with you, but that'll be in the future.
yeah, man. I'd love that. You got to take a trip out anytime.
What's the prognosis? What are we looking at with your Achilles? Tell me, how long would you have?
A long recovery, man. It's kind of depressing to be honest with you. So this Friday will be 2 weeks that I've had the cast and no weight bearing. So I got the scooter in the office. I'm jumping from the scooter to the chair, and
Ah,
it's brutal. It's brutal, but I'm making it work. Thankfully, it's my left foot, right? So I can still drive. I can still um,
oh yeah.
dentistry and basically all I've been doing is just, when I get home, it's kind of like it starts to throb a little bit from having it down all day, and then I elevate it and relax. And so this Friday will be 2 weeks, and then tomorrow actually I'm seeing my surgeon, and I think he's going to put me into a boot. So I'm hoping like later this week, right around the 2 week mark, I can start to put partial weight on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's a boot for like I think like 4 to 6 weeks, and then it's like serious just PT and daily
Yeah,
calf raises and exercise, and hopefully in like 8 9 months I'll be able to run again.
that would be great. Did you fully just snap it, or was it like a tear, partial tear?
So the way that my surgeon told me, he said it's like being pregnant. He's like it's either torn or it's not.
Hmm. Okay.
So mine was ruptured, fully ruptured.
God.
So yeah, it's a pretty bad one. Yeah,
Dude, I don't have to tell you this, but take your time with that, man. The Achilles tendon is just.
sucks.
Were you on? Were you on antibiotics? Were you on the fluoroquinolones that could cause that?
No, but that was the one thing that they asked me because I had my ACL. I tore my ACL like 2 years ago. Yeah, same leg.
God, man.
I tore it playing hockey. So I guess it's funny. I played like competitive ice hockey growing up my whole life. Never had an injury. Never once. Violent sport. Never had an injury. And then now I'm in my 30s and I'm like breaking, tearing things. And it's sad. It sucks. So I tore my ACL playing hockey 2 years ago. And then when this happened, I said to the doctor, I was like, do you think that like I should potentially like get like blood work done or anything to like rule out like this could be something else perhaps that's weakening my tendons or something? I don't know. And he asked me about those antibiotics, and he said that's the only thing that it could be. And since you've never taken those, I doubt it. He said I think
Yeah.
you're just playing sports and you're just getting unlucky.
Oh man, but I hope that luck doesn't get that like good luck comes and the bad luck kind of runs its course. But yeah, too
Yeah,
in the last couple of years,
yeah, man.
the 30s are a scary thing, man. People don't warn you about it.
No, especially because you become a weekend warrior, right? So you're working during the week and then you playing sports on the weekend, and our bodies are not the same as they used to be. So if there's anything I'm going to take from this, it's like incorporate way more mobility and yoga and like stretching into my routine.
Stretching.
Yeah, and also like take it easy with like the sports because I'm not 20 years old anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, oh, I just hope that you don't have any more of those because that's such a setback. I mean, you got the scooter, and then you're going to be into a boot
Yeah.
for weeks. It's a months long process to
Oh,
get all this stuff
oh
back.
my God, it's dude, it's longer than that. It's longer than it's to be in the boot for like 6 weeks after 2 weeks.
Oh,
So it's 8 weeks. And then the first probably 4 weeks of the boot, I have crutches. So you're not walking without crutches for 8 weeks.
that's so much. No,
It's
yeah, that's
brutal,
tough.
man. Yeah, I hope it doesn't happen to anyone. But the nice thing is that like there's a lot of content. Like a lot of people have had this injury. So at night, like I actually find comfort in watching like YouTubers who have gone through this. Like
Mm.
there's this one dude who's like he's like a famous YouTuber. He's like a bodybuild fitness guy, and he documented his entire journey like every day.
Oh, that's great. That's helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's helpful. You know what I thought about like when it first happened, I was like I should probably film like every day of this, but I'm just not like that good with like being a vlogger type person.
Yeah.
I wish I was better, honestly. But I remember like coming across this guy's videos and just being like grateful that someone did it.
Dude, and I mean, I'm a big advocate for making content on like that. Like, you don't have to literally do it every day, but just to be like, today's day, or like say with the scooter, just rolling down the hall, right? No one's here. There are no patients here yet, or they all left for the day. Like, just rolling down the hall and be like, yep, sometimes in dentistry, it's not all fun and games, or like something simple. Today's day 13 on the scooter, right? Here's my green Ferrari. And I don't know, just like, I don't know. I love that stuff because it's the reality of it, right?
That's
What
why
was that?
that's why you're doing so great with social, by the way, because you are documenting. You're not trying to be performative. You're just documenting what you do, and you're teaching others, and people want to watch you because you're very charismatic and you speak well and you explain things well. And so social media has turned from this like highly polished vignette to
Mm.
now it's more so like documenting raw footage of what you're doing.
I think people appreciate it too. You know what I mean? I try to throw some humor in there, like a eating the stuff in my face with a donut. But like, we do that. I try to be transparent with what we do. Dude, make a video or something. Just a quick 10-second.
Yeah, well, you know what? Follow me on TikTok because for some
Let me get.
it's just my name, same as Instagram, Dr. Matt Asaro. It's funny, man, because TikTok is just like for some reason it has this different like feel to it. Like I don't feel like I have to put out something that's so polished. Like it's just I put out something on TikTok like this video like nobody talks about how the challenge of battling your own problems and coming to work in healthcare to help others with theirs.
Dr. Matt underscore Asaro, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Dr. Matt underscore Asaro. Yeah.
What is this? There's another one.
Is
There's
there?
another one with your.
Oh, that's not me.
Okay. This is good to know. This is good for you to know.
It is good to know.
There's another one. You got another one. There's another one with you with the red scrubs. This is good. Let
Yeah,
me get the.
that was a
There's another
yeah,
one.
that was a mission trip I did like back in dental school.
Sometimes it's good to know if like other people are.
Type in just Dr. Matasaro into the top.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I already got the top one.
Okay,
I got that.
nice.
Yeah, I got you. I just got you.
Oh,
But yeah, yeah, you're right. You were saying how there's a different form of content creation on there. Also, by the way, so you've been on TikTok a while now.
yeah,
I've been on there too, but so you've seen some of these comments on TikTok. They can be ruthless. Have you seen them?
yeah. I mean, you mean like in general?
Yeah, just some of these the TikTok comments can they could really
You have to be just very.
try.
Someone just commented on a video. Why are dentists not protesting for dental care to be included in health insurance instead of being separate? Dental insurance is still super expensive for anything. It's always that, and this is another thing to I think teach patients about dental insurance.
Mm,
It's a coupon, right? Like it doesn't make sense. Like you don't when you go to like bring your car in for an oil change, you don't think like oh like let me use my insurance,
true. Yeah.
right? Like your insurance should be for like random, unexpected, catastrophic events. But like regular routine maintenance shouldn't be something that we use insurance for.
Right. Right. Or the insurance should just like actually pay people. Yeah, it's
Right.
one or
Or
the other.
or that, but also or it should be more like the way medical insurance is where you have like your deductible. Hopefully it's not $8,000 like mine is, but
Oh,
hopefully it's, whatever, 1,000 or $500. And then
right.
anything over that, they pay for everything 100% and doesn't there's no cap to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm honestly I'm concerned what the future is going to hold because the last 50 years proved to us that the next 50 years isn't going to be so kind to the healthcare providers unless something changes. And I'm not seeing any real big changes.
Well, I don't know if you're involved, but maybe talk to the people at the ADA and have them like they're the ones that need to be advocating for us.
And
That's
they're not. They're
their only job.
right. It's their only job. I'm just not seeing it. I think they're too involved with these political endeavors. And for good or for worse, fine. But the political endeavors don't always result in making the profession better or more accessible for patients or more supportive for providers. That's can of worms for another time, I
Yeah, man.
suppose.
Yo, thanks so much for chatting so late. I know it's almost like 11 for you, but
Yeah. Yeah. I got to.
for sure. But it was great chatting. I hope to meet you in person.
Dude, you too, man. Thanks for coming on tonight.
No doubt, man. Keep it up.
We'll talk again soon. Yeah, brother. All right. Feel better and happy Thanksgiving.
All right, man. Thanks so much. Happy Thanksgiving.